Brandon Johnson says the process will be more equitable, placing migrants and the city's homeless individuals in the same housing system. Right now, the only migrant shelter left to close is the Elston shelter. Beyond that, there are 5 remaining shelters, 2 run by the state and 3 run by the city, that will be merged into what's called the One System Initiative, meaning they will no longer only serve migrants, but anyone in need of housing, including homeless veterans and other individuals. The city will be partnering with process and plans to add thousands of beds to the system to bring the total number of beds to nearly 7,000.
There were some concerns around seeing a growing number of people on the street, on encampments, a lot of very kind of dire things, but we have not seen those materialize. And that's really encouraging. We just saw higher numbers of people choosing not to enter shelter again, but figuring out something else. I think that's because there's a bigger community now in Chicago. People have more resources with friends or family, and some of them have been working already and saving up funds. And so we're able to self-resolve.
This also means that after today, the city's new arrival census, which has been posted daily since the start of the mission, will also come to an end. The latest and last reported total stands at 51,649 migrants.
Today, homeless living in tents underneath Lakeshore Drive in Uptown are being told today to move.
CBS 2's Mike Puccinelli live in Uptown. He has more on why they're being forced out. Mike, good morning.
Hi. Under a judge's order, these folks that you see behind me have to be out of here a bit later on this morning, but you can still see quite a few tents here under Lawrence Avenue, and it's the same situation over at Wilson Avenue, a little bit to the south. Now, the encampments of about 20 to 30 homeless people are being forcibly broken up by the city. They say they have to move to make way for construction crews who are going to begin work under the Lawrence Avenue and Wilson Avenue viaducts. So yesterday, activists held a protest arguing that homeless people in the city have a right to gather in the public way. They say all too often the homeless have simply been priced out of affordable housing. Many people living under Lakeshore Drive moved there after being kicked out of a shelter just blocks away when it suddenly shut down.
This is a protest expressing our dissent to the city and to the fact that people were kicked out of from the only shelter they had, and the fact that there's not affordable housing being provided.
Now, the city wants these folks to move to the Pacific Garden Mission, but a lot of these folks say they actually feel safer out on the streets than rather in the Mission. Again, this all expected to come to a head here in a matter of hours. Reporting live in Uptown, Mike Puccinelli, CBS 2 News.
Home either. So we want something better for everybody.
At this tent city off Wilson Avenue, we found people cooking meals with cars roaring by just a few feet away. No one seems to know for sure why so many people are moving here, but it exploded over the summer.
I've been here at Tent City for 4 months.
You've been here for 4 months?
Absolutely.
This woman living in a small tent with a propane heater says she was living in an apartment with housing vouchers from the city, but the money dried up. She believes the money was diverted to sheltering migrants being bused to Chicago.
If they got funding for the Venezuelans that come in from Mexico or whatever, and they house them like that, but what about the people that's been out here? I think that's a bunch of bull.
The alderwoman says she's asked the city to conduct what's called an accelerated moving event to find shelters and services for the growing homeless population in the parks. But the city says there's no money left in this year's budget.
The city of Chicago has 18,000 homeless people. 6,000 of that are people born and raised and or was living in Chicago before the migrants. And when it comes to the shelters, there is a lot of reasons why they choose not to go into these shelters. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please don't forget to like, comment down below, and share. Hit the notification. So the shelters are not safe. A lot of times you have people complain about the fact that their belongings are stolen. A lot of fights break out. Disrespect from the staff. And this creates a lot of tension. So they don't stay. But then you have shelters that you can only come in there and take a shower, change your clothes, get a bus pass, which is these are the ones that are in the suburbs. To get that will give you a bus pass. And then you have to go. Let's talk about the changes that were made for migrants. 1, 30 days. Before the migrants, you had 30 days to stay in a shelter and you had to leave. Now that is no longer. You can stay as long as you want. Second, they had a policy that you had to be on a wait list or they will have to call you. And how you gonna call a homeless person? Now it's first come, first served basis. They didn't have that either. Another thing, 30% of your income for some shelters. Now, that's no longer why, because the city will pay for the migrants if they do not have a job. And that is the problem, because if they had removed these policies years ago, the homelessness would not be the way it is. And if they regulate staff in these shelters, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would not be homeless. No one wants to deal with unprofessional staff. You're already stressed out. You already have mental health issues. Who wants to deal with somebody that have a bad attitude when you walk in the door? And another thing, with the theft, that means they have no lockers for your stuff because they can clearly steal your stuff while you sleep. And that is a problem. That's why they don't go into the shelters. Besides, you have to leave anyway. Why would I go into a shelter in the morning, have to leave until 6, 7 o'clock at night? I might as well stay out. And especially in the summer, that's what they do. And now you cannot be on the trains. You can't sleep on the train anymore in Chicago, which is a good thing. But where would they go if they don't want to go into the shelter? Now, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the K9 officers. They terrible. Some of them, not all. I've seen some stuff that I just can't believe. I decided to take the train sometimes and the bus, even though I have a car. But what I see is just terrible. And I'm going to start recording the stuff that I see. The stories is just, it's crazy. But anyway, I'm going to stick to the shelters and how Brandon Johnson is paying for this, which is not a good thing because they are being dishonest on how they paying for the migrants. But in the video that you saw, you heard the lady said that they so-called ran out of funds. They did not run out of funds. They allocated the funds where they wanted to allocate the funds to. So it is a big issue with these shelters in Chicago that they need to deal with. And Brandon Johnson is ignoring the fact that these shelters are a problem, especially the Pacific Garden Mission, which is a Christian-based shelter, which forces you to go to church or read the Bible. If you have mental health issues, where and when do you have time to read a Bible? when you're trying to take a shower and get some sleep. It is ridiculous. But again, Brandon Johnson, Lord Lightfoot, Rahm Emanuel ignored this for years, and they are paying these shelters. But you have people that want to build new shelters that can't get the funding. And it's sad. The shelter system needs an overhaul. But again, no one wants to pay attention to that. But I will bring awareness to it. So in order for me to bring awareness, y'all have to follow me, like, comment down below, and share my videos. And I will see you guys in the next video. But don't forget, always remember, where's the money? Where's the money going? Who is benefiting off the money? See you guys in the next video.